Hey guys, and welcome back to Alden Flips and Builds. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I built this miter saw / routing station. Both of these tools are hooked up to an automatic shop vac, which makes it super easy for shop cleanup. Make sure you stay till the very end of the video because you're not going to want to miss that final reveal. Okay, so to get started, I'm cutting all of the wood boards down to the correct measurements. Before filming, I measured everything out to speed up the process. To do this, I'm using a speed square, tape measure, pencil, and a miter saw. These tools help ensure that the cuts are precise and accurate. Next, it's time to assemble the frame. With all the pieces cut to the correct measurement, we can start putting them together to create a sturdy foundation for our project. For the main legs, I went with 4x4s. These thicker pieces will support a heavier load on the top of the tabletop. This makes it ideal for larger projects in the future. Here I'm adding the legs where the miter saw station will sit. Pro tip: pre-drill your holes when adding screws. This will prevent the wood from splitting and create a cleaner and more secure fit. Next, we need to cut the bottom piece for the base. I always like to sand the edges for a smooth finish. Because I added plywood to the bottom on only one side, I made these little squares to level the caster wheels when rolling around. These wheels support up to 10,000 pounds and make it easy to reorganize your shop or move tools out of the way when they're not in use. They also have a locking mechanism, so that way when you are using the tool, it will stay in place. So the reason I placed the other two pieces of plywood on the bottom is to ensure that the shop vac system will fit and it will stay in place. Now I'm adding the support beams. To attach them, I'm using L brackets and then I'm pre-drilling holes and using wood screws. It's very important that you use a level when attaching your support beams. This is where your tabletop is going to sit, and you want to make sure that everything is level before you attach it. To prep for paint, I taped lunch bags around the wheels so that paint wouldn't get on the casters. To paint, I'm using a Wagner spray gun, QX2, that I got from Lowe's for around $72. I highly recommend getting one of these if you do a lot of DIY projects. I will be leaving a link in the description below if you're interested in purchasing one. The color for this tabletop I went with is matte black because it matches the theme of the shop. Now that the base is dry, it's time to add the tabletop. I purchased this tabletop in the kitchen section at Lowe's. It's laminated, making the surface durable and smooth for working on. To make sure I had clean cuts, I put a brand new blade on my circle saw. I also measured twice to ensure precision. To do this, I use a straight ruler, a square, and clamps to guide my cuts. Next thing we're going to be adding are these brackets to hold the tabletop down. So the next thing I need to do is cut a square piece for the miter saw to sit on top of. Luckily I have this piece left over from the table saw that I was making. So I'll cut that and I'll sit right in there. Now that we have that sorted, it's time to add the routing table. Even with a new blade on the jigsaw, it was chipping the surface really badly. So I decided to cut near the line and then sand down the rest. So the hole's been cut and everything's been sanded down. I'm gonna go ahead and add this router table, and then we're just gonna add these brackets to it.
Two hours later.
With that debacle out of the way, it was finally time to add the bracket. Using a palm router, I cut holes making multiple passes for my T-track system. Here I'm adding the T-tracks. These T-tracks help you add stop blocks when cutting a lot of pieces of wood to the same length. Since my miter saw broke, I bought this Bosch miter saw, which I believe is a better fit for the shop anyways. Unfortunately, I didn't anticipate the size difference between the two saws to be this significant. Because the Bosch is so much larger than my old miter saw, I had to reconfigure the table. Eventually I'll make the necessary adjustments, but for now, I just moved the table side over a little bit. Here I'm adding the switch for the table router. The switch I'm adding here is an automatic shop vacuum. I highly recommend this for any shop with major power tools. Here's how it works. You plug in the shop vacuum and any tools that you wish dust collection for. The switch has 3 ports, one for the shop vac and one for each of the tools, the miter saw and the routing station. This way, anytime I turn on a power tool, the shop vacuum automatically turns on for an easy cleanup. This is a modified version of a cyclone. The cyclone takes the majority of the sawdust, leaving your shop vac clean and extending the life of it. So I have both of my stations ready to get hooked up to the shop vac with the hoses. But we came up with the idea, since it's gonna be one shop vac for two separate tools, we'll need to have a shutoff valve, which will be this right here. So you can see, opens up and closes. So now what I need to do is just figure out exactly how I'm gonna kind of route these on there. So I'm thinking like maybe one over there and one over here. If you've watched this far into the video, I just want to remind you to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Now let's take a look at the final results.